Hello, welcome. I want to take a look today at an unexpected twist that lies ahead for you so you can be as prepared as possible and be excited for the good things coming. There are 3 groups to choose from today, so let's take a closer look and we'll get into the readings. For group 1, we have this pink aragonite palm stone. For group 2, we have this galena, barite, other mineral rock. For group 3, we have this little sodalite tower. Okay. Take all the time you need to choose. I'm going to get started, so meet me in your reading when you're ready. Hi, group 1. You chose the pink aragonite palm stone. Welcome to your reading. We're looking at what unexpected twist is on the way. Let me lay out your cards and we'll get into your reading. Okay, group 1. So we have your cards all laid out. I want to really quickly let you know what we're looking at before I get into the cards. So we're going to look at what energy you are currently in. If you don't relate to this probably won't be your group and you can try another one if you were drawn to another one. We'll look at the twist that is coming and what this would look like, what area of life. We'll look at what challenge it could bring, what blessing it could bring, and where this twist will lead you, and any guidance and advice that you may need. So let's get into it. So we've got a lot of cups and swords cards, and specifically the 3 of swords. So I definitely think that this group is dealing with relationship issues and possibly a relationship ending. So let's get into it actually so that we can find out if this is for you. So for what energy you're currently in, we have this 3 of swords and this 7 of swords. So this is leading me to believe that this group is going through a breakup or a relationship ending. Either you have just been through a breakup, you are in the midst of one, or you are planning to break up. And when I say break up, it can be romantic, but it might also be you leaving behind a toxic family member or a friend, something like this. It could even be a job, but I do think it's relationships for most people here. Or it could be that you suspect that someone is about to break up with you, but I think it's more that this seems to be more in your hands and your choice. But it also may be that this energy has been going on for quite some time and you're just finally tired. So what I think is because the 3 of swords, of course, tends to talk about heartbreak, talks about breakups, grief, dealing with the emotions that come with this and the thoughts that come with this. But when I look at this 7 of swords, it makes me feel like you are just taking what's left with you. Like you have given someone or a situation so much. You have given and tried, and you may have been hurt many times over, betrayed many times over, or you are just not receiving in kind and you have gotten very tired. And not only has it tired you out, this has caused big emotions in you. You may be experiencing a lot of anxiety, a lot of grief, a lot of heartbreak around this, a lot of sadness. This isn't easy at all. Even if you know that you had to make this choice or you have to make this choice, but it feels like these 2 swords that you're leaving behind, it's almost like they're marking a grave. And, again, I think that this is you and one other person, because it kind of feels like you're marking the grave for both of you. Like, not only are you like, okay, this person is sort of dead and gone, but this relationship between us is dead and gone. And I do start to feel emotional. So I think that this is really, really hard for you. It's been really hard for you to make this decision. And that, we have this figure looking behind, like giving this person one last chance. And it's like, oh, it makes me so sad. You feel very sad. It's like, okay, like I'm leaving. I tried. And I'm telling you right now, like, this is the last chance, like in whatever way, like whether you are literally saying that or you've made it clear in any way that you know how. And you're like, you've picked up all your things, like maybe literally, like if you lived with this person, you packed up all your stuff, or even if you didn't, you took all of your things back from their house or whatever. And it's like, okay, I've got all my stuff, whether literally or figuratively. And I'm saying goodbye. Do you have anything to say? Any last words? Anything else that would make me want to stay? It's like this, but we have this red flag that we often see in the Seven of Swords as well. And it does make me think again, this wasn't an easy or healthy relationship, and this person was not easy or healthy. And you've realized that, and yet you still have a little bit of hope left. And this little bit of like, are you really going to let me go? Are you really going to let me walk away? And this is causing a lot of pain. And with all of these, water droplets, it makes me think that you've shed a lot of tears around this, that it hasn't been an easy decision. And that it has caused a lot of pain. And, with the Three Swords, it's not that this person just did one thing to hurt you. This has been a pattern of pain and hurt that has happened in this relationship, even if you've participated with this. But it does feel like this person has done some harm, whether this was conscious or they meant to or not. So if you relate to that, I think that you have found your reading. And this doesn't have to be something that is happening right now or just happened. It could have been in the more recent past, or something that you're still really heavily processing or feeling emotionally and having still a lot of thoughts about. And with the swords, this can indicate thoughts as well. So it is likely that this is heavy on your mind. Even if it's not something that just happened, it still seems to be very heavy on your mind. So with that said, let's look at what twist is coming. And we have a Three of Swords again. We have a Nine of Cups and we have an Eight of Cups. I think that it's funny because this isn't like a huge, shocking twist that comes out of nowhere. It directly relates to what we just talked about. So yeah, this might be shocking, but it's like already happened or already happening. It's not that, because this feels like a tower moment for you, even though we don't have the tower here. That's what it feels like. But it feels like the tower's already happened or is happening. And the twist is actually the way that you are taking back your power, the way that you are the twist. You and your decision to leave, you and your decision to turn this heartbreak on its head. So look, okay, we have these two Three of Swords, very similar, right? And the heart is face up in both of these, but look how the swords are going this way in this one. And in this card, they're going this way. It's like you're flipping the script. You're flipping this on its head. You're not going to sit in this energy forever. It's also like this one is so sad. There's tears here, or rain, but it looks like tears. And these are so aggressive in the way that they've entered this heart, but this one is more clean. Okay. And also there's this little hedgehog face in these clouds looking down. And so that is you observing your heartbreak from a higher perspective. I think that because you are leaving this energy and because you are moving out of this energy with this other person, it allows you to get more clear and more spiritually tuned in, more tuned into your intuition, and to see things in a much clearer way. And so also, because these swords are pointed up from the ground, it kind of feels like they could just slide right out, and like gravity could cause them to fall. And so, where this is very wounding and it's almost like you can't do anything about it. And so all you can do is just pick up the rest of what you have left and walk away. Once you are out of it, because, okay, look, we have the Eight of Cups, you choosing to walk away. We'll get into that more. But because you have made that decision, and because you are allowing yourself to be clear-headed, and the clouds are basically clearing so that you can see this more clearly and with a higher perspective, allows you to cleanly sort of remove the swords that have pierced your heart and to heal. So even though these wounds are here, you can't take back the things that hurt you. They happened, but you can heal from them, and you can see clarity in them, and you can sort of organize it so that you better understand what happened, and so that you have a higher perspective of the whole thing. And so it's not as deeply wounding and painful, but also you're going to get into a place where you're no longer this isn't going to keep happening to you. So by you making this decision, which we already saw, but then it comes over here into this twist as well, by you making this decision to walk away, the Eight of Cups oftentimes is walking away from something that's good on paper. And while I don't think this was good on paper, because if you wrote down all the things this person did, it probably wasn't very good, but there were things you were getting out of it. Because, okay, if you were in relationship with someone, whether it was romantic or some other type, there are benefits to that, even when someone is stressful or harmful, typically, because it can be less lonely, or maybe you feel supported by them in some way, or whatever it is. So in some way, it was benefiting you. But by you choosing to walk away from all of the ways that it benefited you, because you are trusting your intuition and trusting that there is something better, and let's do it like this. And by you then getting clarity, the further away you walk away from this, the more you start to see it clearly, the more you are able to heal and have your heart feel full and healthy again. You walk into this Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. It is satisfaction. It is having everything that you need and want, and feeling very, if we think about like the Nine of Cups and the 10 of Cups, the 10 of Cups a lot of times can be, very fulfilling. It can be even more fulfilling than the Nine of Cups, but there's all these other like people and energies involved in that fulfillment. It's not that there aren't here, but it's like you are creating and causing your own emotional fulfillment and satisfaction. You are going to be the reason that you have healthier relationships where everything feels more safe and organized and right. So this isn't really very unexpected. The thing is, yes, there's tower moment energy even without the tower. And so that can be very chaotic, very unexpected. And so what you are dealing with now may have been unexpected. But the thing is, it's not that an unexpected twist is coming. It's already here. It already came. The twist part of it is that you are changing these dynamics. So also, I think that more than likely, this isn't the first time something like this has happened to you. It might have been the worst time, and it might be the first time. But likely, you may have had a difficult relationship in childhood with a caretaker, perhaps. You may have had other difficult romantic relationships or friendships. I don't think this is your first one. Could be. But I just really get this energy with you where this is the last one you're going to tolerate. You're done with this. And while it has been incredibly painful and unfair and you haven't deserved the treatment you got, you're not only walking away from this person, you're walking away from the pattern. You don't want to do this anymore. And so the twist here is that you're breaking the cycle in your own life by choosing yourself and choosing to see things from a higher perspective, choosing to move away from things that are harming you, to lie them to rest, to basically see them as dead and move on, even if the grieving process is very difficult and challenging and long. And so I think you should be really, really proud of yourself if you're not already, because I do think for some people here, you're still in the deep pain of it. And there is still a wondering if things could have been different. With all this thinking energy, it's like, okay, well, maybe if I had done this differently, it would have worked out differently. Or maybe I was more of the problem than I thought. Or maybe if only. And like, oh, if only I gave this person a little more time. Like maybe I left too soon, or maybe I'm making the decision too soon. Maybe they can change. There's all this hopeful, maybe potential energy. But the truth is, whoever this person is, there's no changing happening. Sure, maybe 10 years from now, there could be a change. You're going to be a different person. You're probably not going to be interested in talking to this person again. If it is someone who's been in your life forever, like a family member, maybe at some point when you have done more healing, you'll be able to come back with more boundaries if this person is healthy enough for that. But overall, whoever this is, this situation was deeply harmful for you for whatever reason it was. You obviously know the reasons behind that. But this hasn't been easy. It's been incredibly difficult for you to walk away. I think some of you haven't yet made the decision, but you're just it's like when you have reached the final straw and then you gave them another chance. Final straw. You've reached like 26 different final straws and you're like, okay, what is going to be the final straw? What's going to make me leave? Because I just want to let you know, whoever this was, you're making the right decision if you leave. Especially because I think whoever this is has been harming you for a bit of time. This isn't someone you met a month ago. There's no way. This is someone that's that you've known for a little bit longer and who has been repetitively harmful. Again, whether they meant to or not. I'm not trying to demonize this person, but whoever they are, they're not good for you or for your emotional health. So I want to get into what challenges this decision could bring and what blessings it could bring. So let's just address both of these cards. So we have the Four of Wands and we have the King of Cups. We're going to start with the Four of Wands. So a big challenge to this, which you may have already discovered, is that there's a loss of a sense of safety or home or stability. So even if this person was deeply emotionally unwell, maybe they were abusive in some way, maybe they were causing you a lot of harm, maybe they were destabilizing you constantly. And so you'd think, okay, if I was being destabilized by leaving, I will feel stable, right? Eventually, yeah. But usually in the temporary, in the short term, it is even more destabilizing because not only is your nervous system completely out of whack and you may be having a lot of again, if someone was abusive towards you, you're dealing with a lot of chemical changes in your body and a lot of things that are really difficult, like breaking a trauma bond and dealing with the cognitive dissonance and all of the stuff that comes with a really traumatic relationship with another person. And so it can feel like a loss of safety and a loss of stability, even if you had already lost safety and stability by being with this person. I hope that makes sense. But, so the challenge in the short term is this loss, the loss of the person, the loss of the potential they held, the loss of the stability you had with them, and the loss of every single good thing you had with them. Because if the relationship is dead, even if it's only temporary, you don't have the jokes that you maybe had, or you can't call them like you maybe called them, or you don't see them anymore. Obviously, I mean, this is obvious, right? When you leave a relationship, you lose all these things, but this talks to that being the challenge of you choosing yourself and choosing healing over choosing potential in another person. Because, if that potential was true, if they could reach that potential, they would have already. It wouldn't still be potential. You would still see the person that you recognized from the beginning, or they would have been kind to you by now. You know what I mean? They could learn. But again, I don't think they're going to anytime soon. But yeah, there's a lot of loss of that feeling. Also, there's a loss of a sense of community, not only with this person, but possibly if this was a family member, maybe now other family members don't want to speak to you. If this was a friend and you had a friend group, you may not feel comfortable in that friend group anymore, something like this. So the challenge is really just around the things that you are losing temporarily with the grief, because again, this does feel like very short-term temporary energy. It does feel like you are going to have your feelings of safety and security again, your sense of joy and fulfillment in life and satisfaction, healthy relationships, healthy boundaries. All of those things are coming as long as you continue this work of moving forward and trusting yourself and trusting that there's something better for you, because there is. So then we have this King of Cups, and this is about a blessing that this is going to bring into you. So first and foremost, this is enhancing your emotional maturity. And I'm not saying at all that you're emotionally immature, because I think actually the bulk of the people in this group are much more emotionally mature than the person they were dealing with. But there could still be some things like maybe you have an attachment issue. Maybe you have an issue around boundaries, people pleasing, caretaking. It could be anything for you, but there may have been a reason that you were continuing to give this person a chance, other than the fact that, again, if it was abuse, that does a number on you, whether or not you were a healthy person. So this could also just be a return of feeling emotionally well. Like if you felt emotionally well before this person, and then this relationship broke you down and made you feel like you were acting more childishly, or that you felt emotionally unstable and unregulated and things like that, and you were like, I really think I felt different and better before this, it's all going to come back. But another blessing that this is going to bring in for a lot of you is an emotionally mature person into your life. So for a lot of you, this can be a partner, absolutely a romantic partner. It could just be a really close friend or someone that you really trust in any area of your life. It could even be someone at work where like you've always had terrible bosses, and now you're going to have like the most amazing, wonderful person who supports you at work. But for most of you, I do think it's going to be a partner or a very, very close friend that feels like family. This is going to be someone very loyal, very giving, very present, and very emotionally healthy and wise and mature. So basically, you're being encouraged to continue on this path. It has been painful. It will continue to be painful for the short term. And you just have to keep moving through it, choosing yourself and trusting your intuition. And I don't want to keep repeating myself. So I'm going to move on to where this twist leads you. And we have the Ace of Wands. Don't you see how your passion makes you glow? So another indication that this could be bringing you into a much better romantic relationship for those of you that this relates to. Someone that you do have passion for, that is also safe, and that makes you feel healthy. Okay. For some of you, this is bringing your vitality back, your like if your energy has been really low and you've been really exhausted and drained by this person or this relationship, this is going to come back to you full force. It may take a little while. Okay. I do want to warn you, it may not happen immediately. It could take months to gain your energy back, but it's almost like when your energy comes back, it's just like the light turns on. It's like it's back, baby. But this also talks about your independence and feeling very comfortably self-sufficient in a really healthy way. And I don't get energy of you having to be alone. There are going to be other people that support you, but your self-love, your self-acceptance, your joy of your relationship to yourself is coming back online. And I think that this person has certainly in some ways stolen from you, whether they meant to or not. But this is going to be coming back. And as I look at this flame, like my body is getting really hot. So it feels like tons of energy is coming back into your body. And if you've been wondering why you're so tired and you're like, maybe I'm just getting older and this is what getting older is, that might play a role in it. But I think that you're going to find that you have a lot more energy, motivation, inspiration, creativity. All of that is going to be coming back to you. And that's where this is going to be leading you. So let's see if there's any more advice or guidance to make the most of this or to get through the challenging parts. So we have the butterfly and snowdrop, hope. We have blue lace, agate, find your calm. And we have surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. Okay, so there's nothing like huge here. It's just kind of like comforting messages. So if you are feeling like that you're going to be alone for the rest of your life because you leave this behind, or you are going to be destined to always have troublesome relationships with other people, and that it is going to be impossible for you to have what you want in relationship to others, or if it feels like this has been going on forever, like don't tell me it's going to change, because it's not going to change. This is trying to tell you that yes, it is. And it doesn't matter if the last 3 decades of your life have had this cycle. As long as you are making this change, choosing to walk away, choosing your own healing, choosing yourself, I promise you, these things are going to change for you. So this card is a reminder to have hope and to not allow yourself to get too down and too pessimistic about the future, because there are good things coming for you. But again, there is a bit of energy where there's a bit of a weight. Okay. So it's probably not going to feel, it might feel better tomorrow, but then it might feel worse the next day. Do you know what I mean? So it may be a little while until you feel energized again, until you feel like this cycle is broken and that you're moving forward in a new way. And this is also kind of a simple message, find your calm. It is also about calming down your energy, because if you get kind of frustrated, because there is some frustration energy here, definitely. I'm not sure if I mentioned that previously, but it has been here since the beginning. If you're frustrated with your progress, if you're frustrated with how you can't stop thinking about this, if you feel like, any frustration around this, or if you feel hatred as you process what this person did, and you hate them with like every fiber of your being, all of this stuff, that's okay. There's an indication here with this card to allow what comes up to be there and to find the calm that always exists within you at all times. That doesn't mean like when you're feeling frustrated and angry and you hate somebody that you need to like get rid of that hate. It's like, so it's kind of like realizing that a part of you feels that. So it's almost like if you can sit down and notice, okay, there's hate here, and maybe notice where it is in your body or how it feels, and see if there's another part of you that actually feels open to that. Like, yeah, I totally understand why you would feel that way. It's finding your calm side, the part of you that's always there, that always accepts everything, that just observes and loves. I hope that makes sense, but it's okay to feel anger and sadness and grief and all these things. And I know it's annoying. I know that it sucks when it takes forever for it to go away, but it's going to. And this just helps you along the way. If you can be present with it, allow it, and love yourself despite it and through it and because of it. And then, so again, this makes me think about your hope card and what we were talking about here. So there could be a belief with you around lack or scarcity, or feeling like you're never going to find what you want in relationship or in life. This could relate to, if you have career goals or career dreams, this may have slowed you down quite a bit as well. And if that's the case, this Ace of Wands talks about you getting to a place where you have a fresh start and more energy and more inspiration, and things being successful for you in work as well. But you could have this belief around not being worthy of the things that you want, the people you want in your life, or believing that they're never going to come your way. So I'm not going to say a lot about this, just really that if you relate to that, there may be some investigation that you may want to do around that, because not that just because there may be a belief there that you're going to continue to draw in the things that you don't want and draw in lack, but if you unwind that belief and start to condition your mind to believe in your worth and to believe in things coming your way, you may notice quicker changes. So it's pretty simple, but overall, group one, I'm just sorry that this is what you've had to deal with. It is incredibly difficult, but you're on your way out. So the biggest thing I can tell you is to continue to choose yourself, continue to move through this, and that you are really going to experience reward on the other side. And the twist in your life is you. It is your self-love. It is you choosing yourself. So move toward that and continue to move toward that. And I love you so much, and I'm grateful that you're here. If this was helpful, please let me know. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Bye. Hi, group 2. You chose this barite and galena rock. Welcome to your reading. We're looking at an unexpected twist on the way. Let me lay out your cards, and we'll get into your reading. Okay, group 2. So I want to tell you really quick what we're going to look at. So we're going to start with what energy you're currently in to make sure that this is your group. If you don't relate to this, you may want to try another group. If you are drawn to another one, we're going to look at what unexpected twist is coming in, what area of life that might be in. We'll look at what challenge it might bring, what blessing it could bring, where this twist will lead you, and then guidance and advice for you as well. Okay, so let's start with what energy you're currently in. We have this 8 of Swords as well as this Knight of Pentacles. And so, well, you know, the 8 of Swords is oftentimes feeling trapped, stuck, in a mental prison, but because we also have this Knight of Pentacles, this Pentacle energy and this slow energy, I think that for a lot of you, you may be feeling very stuck in your work life or in your financial life, and that whatever area of life you are feeling stuck in and that you feel like you can't see a way out, or you don't know how to move forward, or you feel too tired to move forward, it also feels like the energy is so slow, and that you may be having a lot of doubt around your career life or your financial life or your ability to make money or your ability to have joy in this area. And you may also really be like wanting someone to swoop in and save you because it feels like you can't save yourself at this point, or you're hoping that a part of you will rise up and save the rest of you. It just feels you feel trapped. And it feels very exhausting. There's some depression that comes forward for a lot of you, feeling sort of hopeless and it feeling kind of like dark and you can't see your way out. And that while there may be different ways forward, you feel incapable of taking them. Like if you're in a job that you hate and people are like, well, why don't you apply to other jobs? And you're like, I am so exhausted at the end of the day. Why do you think I would have energy to apply to another job? Or it's like, maybe you feel like you don't know how to create a new resume, or maybe you feel like you don't know what you could possibly even do instead. Or, you know, maybe people suggest you take a different position at work, but you also feel trapped in what you're doing. Or you even feel like some of you may feel like you have stability and safety, and like maybe you have financial stability, even if it's not like as much money as you want. You're afraid that you would lose even that stability if you did something different. It definitely feels more work and financial related for most of you. And it feels just very frustrating, stressful, tiring, and like you've been stuck for a while. It doesn't feel like you've only recently begun to feel stuck. It does feel like this feeling has been living with you for some time. It may even just be that feeling of like, I don't want to be tied to a corporate job or a desk job, or like whatever it is that you do. There's this feeling of like, this can't be life. This can't be what I'm tied to. It's this feeling that I think a lot of people have, and you're not alone in it, but it certainly seems to be weighing on you quite heavily at this time. So let's look at what unexpected twist is coming. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Pretty cool. We've got the Ace of Wands, 2 aces. This is already looking pretty good. We have the Emperor. So I'm excited to tell you that you are not going to stay trapped forever. And that I don't think that your ability to, so sometimes with the Eight of Swords, it's like, okay, this figure could walk away. No one's standing here making them stay here. Yeah, they're tied up. They have a blindfold on. It's hard to see. But in your case, I don't really think it is up to you. It is a little bit, okay? It's not like, so I'm going to talk about this, but it's like if someone makes you an offer and you're like, no, like, it's not up to me. Like, I can't make a choice because the universe, it's that whole thing of like, what's that? You know, when they're like, someone's drowning and they're like, God save me. And a boat comes, but they're like, no, I'm waiting for God to save me. And like, I don't know, a helicopter comes. And I think most of you know that story. It's that kind of thing. It's like, okay, if something comes, don't necessarily turn it down, but someone is going to come in here and like, quote unquote, save you. It may not be how you're imagining or wanting it to be. It might not be that like someone comes in and hands you $7 million and you never have to work again. Maybe, I don't know, but that's unlikely for most of you. But we have all of this fresh beginning energy. Pentacles and Wands, they both speak to career. This speaks to money. These speak to new beginnings, creativity. The Emperor can certainly talk about being self-employed if that is something that you've wanted, or at least having more, what's the word? Like autonomy over what you do for a living. So it could even be that like you have felt so trapped because you are being, what's it? Why can't I ever think of words? Like you're being micromanaged maybe, and like you are being chained to your desk in some way. And you could have a situation where you still work for people or work for a company, and yet you are able to make decisions. You are able to decide how your day looks, and you are more in control. This could also talk about being in control of your schedule, getting to decide when you work, when you don't work, having more flexibility around that. This could be, you know, maybe you haven't wanted to be in a leadership position, but this could be a leadership position coming for you that actually would turn things around. So the twist that is coming to your life is there is really fresh, really new energy that's coming. And specifically, I believe that you are going to be offered things. So I think for most of you, you are going to be offered a new position or a new job or a new work opportunity, as well as a new salary, okay? A new way to make money. This could also be that you are being offered another way to make side money. And so this helps you financially. But if you're too tired to do, multiple forms of work, I don't think that's what it's going to be for you, because this feels fresh and energizing and happy, and it feels light. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like you have more on your shoulders. It feels like you have less on your shoulders. It feels like it feels like a huge blessing and a huge gift, basically. However, I think that for some of you, it's going to feel a little bit scary. So, for example, if you've never been in a leadership position, you've never wanted to be, you've never tried for that, even if people wanted you to apply for these positions before, and then you get offered something like this, it's going to be something that you will maybe be nervous and excited for. Or it'll be like you're not sure if you can do it. You don't necessarily feel like you have the confidence for it, but that like it's something that there's at least a little bit of excitement for, even if there's a lot of hesitation, a lot of feeling like I'm not sure. And so there's a feeling of being a little bit scared. Like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm good enough for this. I don't know if I am ready or if I will succeed at this. There's something there where it's going to be a little bit scary, but I think that it's going to be like too good to pass up, or it will offer you a sense of freedom that you can't pass up, because it might be like, I'm not sure I can do that, but if I could do it, my life would be a lot better. It's like that kind of thing. You may also, some of you may be suddenly being offered multiple things. So suddenly you could be getting multiple job offers or multiple ways of bringing new income in. And overall, this is like, yes, it's very, very unexpected. It comes out of the blue, or it comes when you have already been rejected a bunch of times for a bunch of other jobs or something like that. Or like someone you haven't heard from in a while suddenly gets a hold of you and is like, hey, are you interested in this job? I think you'd be really good at it. There's something like this coming, a work or a financial opportunity that is going to change your life. This is big. This is a fresh beginning, and it is going to offer you a feeling of freedom and a sense of greater control over your circumstances so that you no longer feel like you are defined by the trap or the cage that you feel like you're in. But it might bring some challenges other than the ones I've said, but it will also bring more blessings. So other than the ones we've already talked about, we have the Six of Swords. We have this Strength card. So when it comes to what challenge it'll bring, not only may it bring some fear and having to get over yourself and some hesitation and feeling like you might not be able to do something, you might not have the confidence for something, but it's also challenging because you are having to move away from what you've known. Yes, you may have felt trapped for a long time. You may have wanted to escape this quote unquote cage. But when you are trapped for a long time in a situation, even if you hate it completely, there is a sense of stability that comes with something that's long lasting because you are used to it, because it becomes comfortable and familiar and you understand it. You know every corner of the cage. You know when you're going to be fed in the cage. Like, I don't know that I like this example I've come up with, but when the door opens and you are let out and you have freedom, then it's this big bad world that you have to suddenly face with like new things and new faces and new things you're looking at and hearing and feeling. And so there can be some anxiety that comes with that, and a sense that like, you know, if you're anything like me, like I don't like change. I like things to be familiar. I like structure. I like when people show up the same every single day. Like I like those things. That's where I thrive. And it's not like I want everything to be the same all day long, every single day. But if you're anything like that, it is hard to make a big change, even when it's exciting, even when it's going to make your life what you want it to be. It can be quite scary, and it can be destabilizing a little bit in some ways. And so when this comes, there is pretty quick movement toward it, and movement toward the new and the unknown. And there's a lot of fear sometimes that comes along with the unknown, and the anticipation of it might be a little bit difficult for you. So the challenges are really going to be more with your fears and with your insecurities than it is with anything else. And in this Six of Swords, we usually have multiple figures. You're usually not alone, but in this one, you're alone. And so it's not that you will for sure like be alone as you embrace this change or move toward it, even if you can't embrace it. But there is going to be a feeling of being on your own in some way, even if you have support, even if these people or whoever is offering you something are supportive. There's still an aspect of this where you have to go it alone. Because of course, if you take a new like position at work, for example, you're the one in that position. Even if you have someone to report to, someone to ask questions to, you have like people around you that support you, you're still on your own in some way, right? So there's fear around that too. But there are more blessings in the way that this makes you a more confident person, more confident in yourself, your abilities, in learning and doing something new. You know, the Emperor is a very confident person, very comfortable with what he knows and can do, and in his abilities and his leadership abilities and all of that. And in Strength, there is also a comfort in who you are and what you can do, but also there's in the Strength card, it's also that there is like a harmonious quality, like a balancing quality, where I think that you really have the ability to calm down energies around you. Whether or not you think that's true, I do think for a lot of people here, it is, that you can be a very calming, harmonizing, balancing force. And if you are able to put that aspect of yourself into another role or toward more people or in another place, it's not only going to be a huge gift for the people that you give it to by just being present and being and accepting whatever these opportunities are that come your way, but it also strengthens your own confidence in yourself and your own abilities. And it helps you to understand even more what you're actually good at and where your strengths lie. And it strengthens things within you that maybe haven't been that strong until now. Like maybe you haven't had a lot of belief in yourself, or maybe you haven't felt like you can do a lot of things, and you will realize that you really can, and that you're meant to be in this place. What is coming to you is meant for you. I also think about courage a lot with the strength card, and that another blessing is that, you may have anxieties and fears, but if you allow this opportunity, and I don't know if it's coming tomorrow. I don't know if it's coming a month from now. I don't know when it's coming for you. But when it does, and if you accept it and you move through your fears, you will develop a lot of courage, and you will be a lot less fearful about things moving forward. Not only this area of your life, but other areas. And as other opportunities come, you will feel more brave, more courageous, and more able to move toward them and accept them. And I think that you're going to see yourself a lot more clearly. And yes, it's unfair that you have been in a situation where you have felt trapped for this long, but I don't know if there was a reason for this energy, but it is going to change. There's tons of fresh energy coming in to mix things up. But when that happens, again, it can stir up your fears, but it's allowing you to get more in tune with who you really are. This light, bright, wonderful person in the world who does not need to hide away, but instead needs to be seen and heard. So let's look at where this twist leads you. So, don't be scared by the Five of Pentacles. It is not leading you to the Five of Pentacles. And it says here, nothing is as if I could read, nothing is ever as hopeless as it seems. So again, this is leading me to that depression, hopeless feeling that you've had. So this is a reminder that nothing is as hopeless as it seems, even if you have been stuck in this position for 15 years, okay? It doesn't mean you're going to be forever. It's not as hopeless as it seems. And again, in this card, we often see multiple figures. We only have one. So I think that once again, you have felt very alone in your struggles and in your hopelessness. And whether or not you've been surrounded by other hopeless people, that's not usually very helpful anyway. So this right here says safe haven. And, we have, of course, this is a witch deck, but we have a little witch here with her witch hat. And then we have this little witch hat, basically speaking directly to her. If you want a safe haven, it's just right here. So this card is basically speaking directly to you. I'm not saying you're a witch. You might be. But you are getting an opportunity for you specifically. It is for you to reach a place where you feel more comfortable and safe and protected and cared for. Okay. It might stir up some fear on the way, but an opportunity is coming for you to feel much better, to no longer we have this witch here. She's got her business flats and stuff. It feels like she was at work, but in an outfit she didn't want to wear. That's what it feels like to me. It's I don't want to be doing this. I want to be doing something else. And it's if she just can see that this opportunity has arisen for her. It's she's been walking in the snow for 15 years. Okay. I don't want to be doing this, and I can't see hope anymore. Everything's dark and cold and sad, and I'm tired of living this way. It's okay, well, look, this is here, and it's this brick house or church or whatever it is. It's this solid place to warm up, to find safety, and to make your life easy and better again. You don't have to keep traveling through the snow when this comes in. So this twist is leading you to a new sense of safety, greater financial abundance, a greater feeling of doing something that is more you, so that you feel a stronger sense of lightness and energy and confidence and joy. This, where you are now, this is not you. And no wonder you feel trapped. No wonder you don't feel good, because it's not, you're in a position or you're in a place that is not you. And so when this opportunity comes in, because it is on its way, you will have the chance to do something that ultimately is going to feel a lot more you. And it's going to rejuvenate you and revitalize you and bring energy into you and warm you up and nourish you, even if at first it's scary. So when this comes, I don't want you to be too scared to take it, because it's going to bring you such wonderful things. You've been for too long not being appreciated and recognized for all that you are. Okay. Like if you've just been doing data entry, that's not who you are. Who you are is this magical, wonderful person who is going to impact people in positive ways. So let's get some guidance for you about this. Okay. We have the bat, and I think that's pronounced hellebore, intuition. We have sodalite, speak your truth. We have surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. Okay, let's start here. So, actually, yeah, we'll start here. Okay, so when we talk about intuition here, and actually, let me put this down. We're going to do these two. Okay, intuition and listening to the wisdom of your body. When these offers come in, okay? So let's just say you're looking for a new job, okay? Let's say you have been applying for new jobs, and then you start getting some offers. People are interested. They want to interview. They are offering you these jobs. When that starts happening, I'm not just saying take the first one that comes. It may be the one, okay? But when these offers come in, this is where you need to tune into your intuition and your feelings. Okay. So you may have some fears around doing something new. So that's probably going to come up. You may have some hope when it comes to something new, because it could get you out of where you are. These things are going to come forward. So then you need to slow down. When you get an offer, you do not have to reply a minute later. Okay. Don't make them wait weeks, but because you're going to lose your chance. But take a minute, okay? And tune into your intuitive sense. And for you specifically, probably, there may be a lot of clairsentient people here. Tune into how it feels, okay? So not just like, if you're doing a job and this other job is like similar, you hate what you do, and they're like going to pay you a little bit more money. And you're like, well, I should take it because it's a little bit more money. It's going to be the same miserable bullshit I've been doing. But so that might not be the right opportunity, So there is some logic there, but like tune in, okay? Don't be like, I have to make this decision in 5 seconds. Take a minute, slow down your thoughts and your energy, and tune into how you feel. Again, if you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. Even if you have fear, because I know you're going to have fear, okay? But if there is a feeling of being energized and happy also, then trust that this is the opportunity, okay? So let's look at the sodalite card. Speak your truth. Okay, this is talking to me again about how you are, okay, it's a few things. First of all, if you get offers and you want to move toward them, or you don't want to move toward them, then say that. Don't be confusing. Just figure out what you want and say it. But also, this is really making me think that a lot of you are going to be seen and heard by people that you don't yet realize. And while that might sound very scary, if you like being in a cozy little comfort zone, this is important because you have something to share and something to say that is important and will be very, very helpful to other people. So this is talking again about the fact that there is something about you that other people need to experience for their own growth or their own joy or their own ability to calm down. You have something very calm and special and mystical and magical about your energy. And the time is coming soon for you to present that, allow that, whatever. And this is also about being very authentic to yourself, not trying to be what you think you have to be in a new position or a new role or a new place, but instead being yourself and being bold. I think that there's some anxiety in this group, like I've mentioned, and there are going to be some changes around this. So this is a big life event for you, okay? Because this is going to not only take you out of a rut that you've been in and to bring new fresh energy into your life, it's going to allow you to vanquish some of the anxiety, to move through some of the fear and for it to be in the past and to be more in line with your intuition, your authenticity, more stable, more financially stable as well, and to benefit people in a really beautiful way and to see yourself soar in ways that you may not have realized that you could. So that's where I want to leave it. Okay, group 2, thank you for being here. If this reading was helpful for you, I really would love to hear that. I will see you again soon. Okay, bye. Hi, group 3. You chose this little sodalite tower. Welcome to your reading. We're looking at what unexpected twist is on the way. Let me lay out your cards and we'll get into your reading. Okay, group 3. Before we get into it, I want to go over what we're going to look at. So we're going to start with what energy you're currently in. If you don't relate to this, feel free to choose another group if you were drawn to one. Otherwise, it's okay if you don't have a reading in this video. We will look at the unexpected twist coming, and we will look at the challenge it could bring, the blessing it will bring, where this twist is leading you, and some advice and guidance for you. So I would like to get into it. So let's start with what energy you're currently in. And this is interesting because we have the Empress and the Ten of Swords, two very, very different cards and different energies, very light, very dark. There's a few things that are potentially your situation. So for some of you, it feels like you've been let down by an entire community of people or an entire friend group, a workplace, your family. It feels like a community. Multiple people have betrayed you or let you down in some way, or a person did this and they did a whole lot of things to hurt you, or a place did this. But you have experienced or are experiencing some betrayal and rejection and feeling like there are people against you. At the same time, you're in this really beautiful Empress energy. You don't have to be a woman to be in this energy. You can be any gender. But there is all at the same time, this energy of you being very comfortable with yourself, comfortable with who you are, your values, your decisions, your actions. You didn't do something where everyone turned against you or someone turns against you because you were bad. Okay? This group, you didn't do anything wrong. That's what I want to say. And you have dealt with a person or more likely multiple people who either didn't get you, have their own issues, or listened to someone lying about you, something like that. But you have really beautiful energy and you know it. Even if you've been very hurt by this, even if this has caused a lot of harm in your life, even if it's been very stressful, you as a person are abundant and radiant and healthy and beautiful in all of these wonderful ways. Like, even if you're like, no, I have health problems. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your emotional health. But I do think some of you are physically very healthy right now too. But there is this energy around you where you are a very nurturing and nourishing and lovely and giving and generous and abundant person in a lot of ways. And it seems to me that there are people who don't seem to understand that about you, or they do, and they are either jealous or your energy makes them feel very insecure. Or again, there could be one person that got pissed off at you and spread a bunch of lies. You know how narcissists do. So it could be someone like that. And other people being emotionally less healthy or more insecure or things like that turned on you too. So this is very specific, but it's got to be for someone. Otherwise it wouldn't be here. So please let me know if this is your group. I would really appreciate knowing that this is for somebody out there. But even if like you feel comfortable with who you are, there may be some doubt around that. You may be wondering like, are these people right? Like, am I as bad as they say? Or like you may be feeling very rejected or whatever it is. It has caused you some pain and some distress. Sometimes, often in the Ten of Swords, the figure is like bleeding out, lying fully down. You're more just like kind of bent over and disappointed. So they haven't gotten you as bad as sometimes the Ten of Swords will get you, but it has been disappointing. And this is an excessive number of swords to be in your back. So it's not like you were like, whatever, I'm fine. Part of you may be that way, but you certainly have been affected by this 100%. And so this is currently the energy here. And whether this is happening right now or it did happen, and especially if it was like a community of friends or something, maybe this has happened multiple times, but it has taken a toll. And I think that you are starting to wonder like, okay, I believe in myself. I know I'm a good person. I love myself. But maybe you're wondering like, are other people ever going to see me for who I am? Are other people ever going to acknowledge my light or my good qualities? That might be happening for some of you as well. So with that said, if this is your group and you would like to stay, even if it's not, you are welcome to stay and hang out with me. Well, let's look at what unexpected twist could be coming and in what area of life. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because these are all cup cards. So the area of life, I'm going to say, is likely to be relationships. It could also be your emotional life, but I really think that this is going to be about relationships. So we have the Four of Cups, the Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So the twist that is coming. Okay. Well, this, why am I smelling popcorn? Is somebody out there eating popcorn? Like that seems to have nothing to do with the reading. I know I'm not smelling it because I'm in my home alone and there is no popcorn here, but I don't know. Let me know if that means anything. Maybe there's something coming with this at the movies. Well, let's get into it. Okay, this Four of Cups is talking about, let's do this. Oftentimes, this is about feeling pretty discouraged with the options. And that maybe, if we talk about relationships, maybe you have been disappointed every time. And so it's like, I don't even want to try again. I don't care what this is. Don't offer it to me anyway, because I know what it's going to be. It's going to be this. Look, it looks exactly the same. So there's this disappointment in like other people, disappointment in relationships, disappointment with the hands that you have been dealt, and not even wanting to give it a shot anymore because your energy is so wonderful that I wonder if sometimes you're like, I'm just going to hang out with myself from now on, or like my very few trusted loved ones, because if people can't acknowledge how wonderful I am, they don't deserve to be in my life. And you're correct about that. However, I want to bring us to the Seven of Cups, which is this unexpected twist on the way. And guess what? You are going to have options. You're going to have an array of new, wonderful choices, new communities to join, new people that want to be your friend, new people that acknowledge how wonderful you are, new partner opportunities. There are going to be so many opportunities coming your way at some point. And there is patience indicated here, so we'll get there. So I don't think that this is going to happen immediately. So you're going to be spending some more time with yourself and your good, wonderful solo energy. But you may be overwhelmed with choice at a point. Like, it's like so many people want to be your friend, wonderful, interesting, funny, cool people, or so many people will want to date you, or so many people will want to hire you. Whatever it is, wherever you've experienced this 10 of Swords, it is going to be the opposite. So there's going to be people like, you're going to have so many invitations or so many offers or so many people checking you out or so many people acknowledging how wonderful you are, that it may even be slightly overwhelming. You may even be like, well, I don't know. I don't know what to pick. I just kind of dealt with what came my way before. But there is going to be offers coming in for you that is going to completely transform this part of your life. You're not even going to probably think about these old people much in the future because you're not going to have any reason to. You're not going to need to feel sad about it or rejected or anything because you're going to be so appreciated and so loved by way more interesting and fascinating people. And it's like, you know, whoever these people were or whoever this was, they didn't suit your energy. They couldn't live up to your energy, which is why they tried to tear you down. Okay. Whether it was conscious for them or not, they didn't like that. They felt like you were superior to them in some way. And I'm not saying you were, but I am kind of saying that you were. Okay. Just in the sense that like no one's better than anybody else, but I would prefer to hang out with you than I would want to hang out with these people who hurt you. I can tell you that right now. So it's like maybe you tried to be friends with people who you saw the good in, but you didn't really have anything in common with. And then suddenly there's going to be people that have all of your same niche interests. Like maybe you're really into like, I don't know, niche things. Okay. I can't come up with any examples right now. Maybe you really like pearls sourced from some part of the ocean and, everyone's like, what are you talking about? And then someone's like, oh my God, I also love these. Come look at my collection. It's like whatever you've gotten super into, there's going to be people who are into that same stuff and you're going to connect in really interesting ways. But also people who really appreciate you and see your value and think you're wonderful. And for those of you who are looking for romantic relationship, the Knight of Cups speaks to that. So I don't think that you are having a Knight of Cups coming in. I think what this Knight of Cups is a messenger, because there's all this energy of these things being offered to you. Invitations and offers are coming in. And I think that if you are looking for romantic love, that is also going to be an invitation that comes in, and that you will have opportunities and choices and people who, again, see you for the wonderful Empress energy that you are, again, regardless of your gender. Look how wonderful you are. Okay. So people are going to appreciate that instead of just stabbing you in the back and betraying you and lying to you and disappointing you. So the twist is that where people have failed you in the past, that is going to change dramatically. However, it's not going to change right away. Okay. And I'm sorry about that. And we'll get to that. But this is to encourage you to keep going and to keep spending wonderful time being your wonderful self, because you're incredible. And if other people can't see it, do not let that get you down, because you're a special person. This group has such special energy, and there's always wonderful special energy in every group. But you are unique, and you are beautiful in ways that are unique, and you don't need anybody else, but you're going to have other people. Okay. But let's come over here to the challenges and blessings that this twist will bring. We have two kings. We have the King of Wands and the King of Swords. So let's start with the challenges. I love the King of Wands. It's such a good card. But it is coming up in the challenges. So the challenge that this could bring is that, so let's talk about this. The King of Wands is very authentic to himself. He is unafraid to be himself, unafraid to be unique, unafraid to speak his truth, and to live life and to lead in a very unique manner. Okay. And what was I going to say? Oh, so the challenge here in this energy that you've been in, if I could pick these up. Again, even though you know you're great, because of the sheer amount of betrayal or whatever it is that you have faced with people who have stabbed you in the back or been have basically rejected you or whatever it is, it may have hurt your self-esteem to a degree. And you may have started to wonder, like, how am I coming across to people? Like, do people actually like who I am? Maybe I need to change some things about myself to be more acceptable. Like, some of these things could be coming up for you. Like, some days you may feel very confident in yourself, and then other days you really doubt yourself, because when so many people turn against you, it is really shocking, and it really makes you question yourself and whether or not you're the person you think you are. Even strong people can go through that when a community does this or multiple people do this to you. So why this comes up in the challenge is that once this starts happening and people come in, you may have some fears around being yourself, or you may struggle in some ways to be fully authentic because there are still some fears there around disapproval, rejection, or being harmed for who you are. So, it may be challenging to stay in this King of Wands energy and be powerful in who you are. That may come up and you may think like, that's not a problem for me. But then as soon as people come in again, it rears its ugly head a little bit, because it's like, oh God, like last time I got close to all these people, they hurt me. It's something like that. So it may be a bit of a challenge, but also you may have realized too that in some ways you weren't fully authentically yourself with these past people because you didn't feel comfortable, because they did have issues and it affected how you presented yourself. That could also be the case. And so maybe in the meantime, after this betrayal, you've really been working on being very authentically yourself. And something comes up with this once new people start entering your life and new invitations come in. So there could be a challenge with that. And that's not the worst challenge in the world. So honestly, I don't think there's a whole lot of energy you need to be concerned about. And then what blessing will it bring? Well, clarity for one. So this is really nice. It's like, yes, you may be overwhelmed by options, or there may just be so many people, but because of what you have gone through and what you are going through, and because of all of this, basically, you are going to become so clear about who and what you are willing to put up with, who and what you actively want in your life, and who and what you don't. And you are going to be unafraid to swing that sword and cut out people that don't work. And this isn't that you are going to be like mean about it by any means. There may just be people who just don't belong there, that haven't done anything wrong to you, but you're going to get to a point where, because also, if a lot of people are coming in, it may be hard at first to discern who is right and who's wrong. And yes, a lot of wonderful people are going to come in, but there may also be people who may not stab you in the back, but may not be right for your life. And so because of what you go through as this twist happens, you will gain a greater understanding of who you want and who you don't, especially because there will be a lot of options. And so there won't be any lack here. So you'll have an abundance of choice, and then you will be able to make that choice, because you're also, I don't think you have the kind of energy where you can have 100 close friends. I just don't think you do. I don't think a lot of people do, but you may have to be sort of discerning, and that's a blessing that comes with this. So this discernment and this ability to be very strongly boundaried in a really healthy way and very clear-headed and clear seeing will be a huge blessing for you in other areas of your life as well. And I think that possibly currently or in the past, you may have allowed people into your life that really weren't meant to be there. But that's not a personal failing. Everybody does that. But it may be that you are realizing more and more like, okay, I'm realizing who I am, what I like, what works for me, what feels healthy. And that is what I'm going to allow into my life. And there is a lot of strength with this. And it feels really light, like you are really making choices that uplift you and uplift your life instead of letting anyone or anything else choose for you. And it just feels so freeing. This energy is so freeing. I think that sorry, I always sigh when I'm trying to figure out how to say something. The energy of this group feels pretty free already. Like you are people who have, you may have been freed from a situation because other people did it, but I think that you have spent time on your sense of freedom and you have been self-reflective and you have worked on yourself and all of these things. And I think sometimes it even feels for you like, are there people who belong in my life? Like the more work I do, the lonelier I feel, or like the better I feel about myself, but the more alone I feel because I encounter people who don't fit my vibe. I think some of you might relate to that where you wonder if like you're ever going to find people that you vibe with anymore. Because it's like when you're a kid, you're all kind of on the same level. It's easy to make friends. But as an adult, not only do you have different interests, but if you do a lot of work on yourself and a lot of healing on yourself, that limits even more the like people who are right for you. And there are tons of people. Like you were going to get to a point where you are in communities of many wonderful healed people. But right now you may not be. But all of this work that you've done is freeing you and opening you up to a more fulfilling, free life where you are very, very happy as well. So let's get to this Sun card where this twist leads you. Give yourself permission to experience joy. Okay. So this twist is leading you to a greater sense of joy and optimism and happiness and feeling fulfilled by life. And just, I just see you with like a smile on your face. Like you just are like beaming more often and you laugh more because you're happier. This twist leads you to a greater feeling of happiness. I think that there are people in this group who already are pretty happy people, but even though this Empress is beautiful and self-sufficient and abundant and all of these things, like there is some red around her eyes. And it makes me feel like there is, again, some emotion around the things that you've been through and also a little bit of loneliness at times. And you are going to be in a place where you feel very fresh and light and happy and vibrant and where everything kind of feels like it's going your way. Even when you are alone, you will feel happy, but you will also be surrounded by and connected to other happy people. Look at all these happy little sunflowers. This feels like they're representing all the happy people in your life and all the happy connections that you have. And also, there's so much yellow in this card and orange as well. So this makes me think about the solar plexus and the sacral chakras. And the solar plexus can be about confidence and personal power and you feeling very like authentically yourself and able to live an authentic, happy, powerful, confident life, as well as the having very healthy relationships. So again, this can be community, friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships, but being very fulfilled by your relationship life. It's so abundant. And there's some red in here too, which makes me think about safety and security. And it's like, I just feel like any ways in which you're hard on yourself currently, those are going to be removed. And this has something to do with the twist coming, but it's also part of your own work and your own healing through what you've been through. And there's so much self-love here. So I think that you already have quite a degree of that, but it is increasing so much where it's just like, you are your favorite person. You love yourself so much, and you draw in other people who also love themselves, and people who love themselves are the people who are most loving to others. So I think that you're going to be very happy in your life in general, in your life when it comes to relationships, and in your relationship to yourself. And what more could you ask for? And there is health energy here too. So if you have struggled with any health issues, this is going to become a lot better, it looks like. So let's get you some advice and some guidance to make the most of this, or to go through the challenging aspects of this. Okay. We have the Bobcat and Blackthorn patience. We have Lemurian quartz practice patience. What did I tell you? I'm so sorry. I hate when patience comes up. Surrender your fear of change. The universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. So, what more can I say about this? Patience. So, okay, like I said, this may take a little while to come. Okay, it's going to come. And when it comes in, it seems to be moving very quickly once it does. It may be a little while before it does. Okay, there is some divine timing, some things that have to happen before we get to this twist. But also, I think that a lot of you are still doing some self-healing, because when you get stabbed in the back in this way, or you get betrayed or whatever, when people turn against you, even if you love yourself and you believe in yourself and you think like, fuck those guys, they were awful, it still hurts you. There are still wounds that you need to recover from. And so there is some recovery that is happening, and having some patience as you recover and as you move forward, and in the moments that you feel lonely, or in the moments that you feel that you don't have the health you want or the vitality or energy you want, whatever it is, this is basically just reminding you to have patience with yourself in the process of life. And yes, you are probably going to have moments of disappointment, feeling discouraged, wondering if things are ever going to happen for you, wondering if you're going to be alone for your whole life. All of that stuff is likely to happen occasionally, even though there will be, of course, moments of happiness, moments of things working out. And so just remember that there are magical things coming for you. There are wonderful, happy things coming for you, including happiness in general. And that as much as you can be patient, try. But I know it's hard because, even if it's like, you've listened to 6 readings that have said these same things, and it's like, okay, well, clearly that's a sign. It's gonna happen. It can still be hard for our brain to believe it. Even when we're told over and over and over again, everywhere we turn, we get the same signs. Until something happens, it can be hard to believe that it ever will. But as much as you can, be patient with yourself, your own healing, with things that you want coming into your life, with your manifestations coming in, and with life taking its damn time. It's just, we have multiple cards just recommending that. But I didn't expect to see this. Actually, I would have expected to see this in group 2. But you may have some fear around change. You may have some anxieties around change, which may be part of the reason that you could have been involved with people who weren't healthy, because maybe that's what you were used to. And so because many of us have a fear of change, maybe you continued to sort of draw people into your life that reminded you of past harmful people, and it's continued to happen because it feels comfortable to you. part of what may be happening and drawing this twist in is the fact that you're healing around this. And so you no longer have the patience for people who aren't right for you, or people who aren't healthy, or people who are going to hurt you. And so if you do have fears around change, this could be a really good time to start to address those and face those in however that looks for you. Maybe you face some of this fear of change by doing a small change or something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be massive, but this could be a factor here. And it doesn't mean that just because you're afraid of change, this isn't going to happen. This is going to happen. But in the meantime, this wouldn't be a bad thing to work on a little bit. And even in other areas of your life, like it says, if you're afraid of a change in your job or in your health or whatever, having some faith that things are well, repeating affirmations or working on your fears might be very helpful. And again, there could be something here for someone with their health, and there's fear around your health. And I get it. But also there are things you can do. And so that could be affirmations, as this card says, or it could be facing your fears and sitting with your fear. And while fear is a very, very hard thing to sit with, there's a lot of peace on the other side. So also, the universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. So if you are a spiritual person, if you believe in spirit guides and angels and ancestors and those things, don't be afraid to call on them for comfort and for help and guidance. And also to know that you're not the only one who loves yourself. That is really important. And to receive that love from yourself is really important. But, the realest thing in the universe is love. And so just let it in as much as you can. And you're going to see really big changes. I wish they were happening for you tomorrow, but they're coming. They definitely are. So group 3, I think that's all I've got. If this was helpful for someone, I'd really appreciate you letting me know. I love chatting with people in the comments. It's the best. I wish you well. I'll see you again soon. Bye.